there. My name is Dr. Taryn Fletcher. I'm an instructional leadership coach and a best-selling author. I am coming to you by way of my living room. It's the first day of school for some of my leaders, so I'm so excited. I mean, I'm not actually starting the school year as I used to when I was a principal or when I was deputy superintendent. However, it definitely is my most favorite time of the year. And I made sure that I connected with my leaders this morning to welcome them into a new school year and to remind them to take tons of deep breaths, because that's just basically what works most of the day. So I wanted to come though and share a little bit of knowledge here. I am sharing 3 ways that you can create a culturally connected community starting this week, the first week of school. These are ways that really work regardless of if you're in a virtual setting or a face-to-face setting, if you have kinders in your classroom, or if you are at college level. Creating a culturally connected community is essential to really being able to engage your students at high levels. They realize the purpose and what they're learning when the learning community is culturally connected to who they are. The first way is to start by asking your learners about their hopes and dreams for themselves. Now, if you have younger students, you can ask their parents. And really, if you have all the way up to 12th grade, you could ask their parents as well, or their family members. But I also think it's essential to ask your learners, what are your hopes and dreams for the year? You might get some interesting answers, but for the most part, it will help you understand what some of their individual personal goals are. And it would also help you to humanize your goal setting process. Oftentimes, especially as leaders, we are very driven by the end goal, and we have to be. This is the world in which we need to make progress year over year. However, goal setting can become very tactical if we're not paying attention. It can become very operational, and we cannot forget that these are people behind these goals. Number 2. So the second way to build a culturally connected community is to then take that information that you've learned when asking about their hopes and dreams, and to use that information and the information you learn about your learner, use that information to actually build more relevance into your instructional delivery, not to further control or manage them. And so, listen, I know we need a little bit of both, but I do come from the school of thought that if you have a very engaged environment, that behavior figures itself out. Use that information to actually build relevance into your instructional delivery. Use that information to saturate your instruction with connection points for your learner. So we all come into the school year thinking about our rules and our expectations. My third way for building a culturally connected community is for you to create a contract with your students as opposed to a list of rules. Now, here's why. When you create a contract, there are some mutualities in a contract. Contracts speak to both parties. And oftentimes, young people will see rules needing to be super enforced with them, but then they watch adults not actually abide by them, right? So what that tends to show a young person is that expectations are in what you see, not in what you say, right? And number 2, it also means that once you have a level of authority, you don't actually have to follow the rules. And that is just not how we want our classroom communities to work. And quite frankly, communities outside of school shouldn't work like that either. And we all know that there is some level of truth to that. And it also furthers this idea of community, because when a contract is broken, right, that is a big deal. That's like, like you need to restore a relationship when contracts are broken, right? Think about business contracts. When they are broken, that's just not they're broken. Okay, moving on. You go to court. It's like a thing, right? So in a classroom, those same ways of being, I should say, not rules, those same ways of being should apply. When a contract is broken, we need to restore the relationship. There's something really wrong here when a contract is broken. The community can come together and speak to the issue and really reevaluate the contract as a community. Whereas when rules are broken, we think more about punishment. We think more about how do we punish this person? How do we discipline them so that they don't break the rule again? And that is literally a whole nother blog or video to talk about. So I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to suggest that you consider really thinking about a contract within your community as opposed to a set of rules. So that's all I have today. I look forward to coming back to you next week, where we will continue to talk about how to attract, train, and retain cultural rock stars, teams that amplify voice, value inclusivity, and cultivate the next generation of diverse leaders. Talk to you soon. Happy first week of school.